Things just took a shocking turn for the Boston Red Sox and what could be their offseason plans going forward. I'm here to break down the brand new information connecting the Boston Red Sox and starting pitcher Brayan Bello to the Arizona Diamondbacks and Ketel Marte. We'll break down if there's a chance this blockbuster trade could be made this offseason and whether or not it would be a good idea for the Red Sox going forward. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember, scroll down and click that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Red Sox. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys tremendously for everything. But now let's get to it and break down this new information on Brayan Bello and if he is actually going to be on the move this offseason. This is really a new topic of conversation, as we have talked about a lot of common names over and over and over again that the Boston Red Sox are involved in trade talks with, the free agency market, or who could be moved from the Red Sox organization itself. Guys like Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, Masataka Yoshida, and others, but also the trade market that they're trying to go out there and acquire players from, we know is lucrative and large. And despite the only one move for Sonny Gray up to this point, there's still a lot out on the table. But now, based off this brand new information, it seems like there's a real chance that a lot of Red Sox Nation and others, possibly even people inside the organization, could look to move someone like Brayan Bello, who is going to be the number 2, number 3 guy in this Red Sox starting rotation, at least as of right now, as of this point in the offseason, with the dynamic of Crochet, Bello, Sonny Gray, and the rest of the starting rotation and starting pitchers available for the Boston Red Sox. There's a lot of conversation. Is it going to be Gray? Is it going to be Bello? Is there going to be a new addition to this Red Sox team that will be the 1B, 1A type of situation next to Crochet? There's a lot of moving parts, and what could the Red Sox go out there and do? Well, as of currently constructed, before we get to the quotes and what we're really addressing, this is what the starting rotation looks like. Crochet, Gray, Bello, Crawford, Sandoval. There is not a chance. There is absolutely no way this is what the starting rotation should look like for the Red Sox once the regular season officially starts for this up-and-coming year. Crochet, Gray, and Bello is a great 1-2-3. But obviously Cutter Crawford and Patrick Sandoval, are we going to take the chance on them? Is there a chance? Cutter looks a lot better than anticipated, without a doubt. There's still a lot of upside there, only 29 years of age. Sandoval was supposed to play after the All-Star break this past season. It never happened. He never touched the diamond for the Boston Red Sox. I don't even think he played down in AAA last year, any form of minor league affiliate. So is this someone you're going to give the number 5 spot on in your starting rotation to when you guys have when you have guys like Peyton Tolley, Conley Early, and others that are down in that farm system, working hard, being very productive, or even guys like we mentioned earlier in Tolley that performed at the late stages of last season for this Red Sox team and the pitching staff? So what could the Red Sox do going forward to improve this starting rotation? Well, we got a few different quotes. The first one from Matthew Crowley, and on Twitter, he goes on to bring up the idea of, would it be the craziest idea to move someone like Brayan Bello? And people jumped at him and called him a madman, and he wasn't alone. He went on to break down this idea and how you could move someone like Brayan Bello now for a 1A, a 1B type of pitcher to pair next to Garrett Crochet as the legitimate number 2 guy in the starting rotation, while you also have Sonny Gray, who you were just acquired, obviously, who can then go down to that 3 or number 4 spot, depending on how things shape up post-trade, as well as once we get to the regular season, and once we know Early's going to be there, and once we know whether or not Tolley will be a starter or someone coming out of the bullpen. There's a lot of other pieces of information, I should say, inside the organization that have to be worked out and figured out for this Red Sox team before we for sure know everything going on. But there's a lot of pieces that have to be taken care of before that, or at least they could be taken care of before that, before we even get to the regular season. Now, Crowley made that tweet that we addressed earlier, and then Jared Carabas, I apologize for mispronouncing it, as well as the 2 others on Baseball's Dead, they went on to bring it up. It was Jared specifically. But he goes, am I crazy to think that Brayan Bello could not be a part of this Red Sox team? I'm paraphrasing greatly, but it's just the idea in the overall gist of the conversation and how it relates to Crory's tweet originally, and how this is a real idea, it feels like, and how this might be picking up some steam, and how Ketel Marte might be the guy if the Red Sox were looking to trade someone like Brayan Bello. Because of really, he's been in the league for 4 years. There's a lot of team control. The overall production has been pretty damn good. The underlying metrics weren't great last year, but again, he has performed up to this point, especially for the age and the youth that he has shown and has lived with up to this point. Again, Carabas goes on to break it down, brings up this idea. It's an interesting conversation, and then we get to the idea of Brayan Bello. The team control is lucrative, without a doubt. He has 4 years of control, the fourth year being a club option. So you have a lot of time out in front of you if you do go out there and trade for someone like Brayan Bello. And then you look at the underlying metrics, which do not tell the whole story. A lot of things way below league average, and I mean way below league average. Expected AWOBA, expected batting average, both way below, including whiff percentage and the K percentage, both correlating way, way below the league percentage. There's things that do stand out, though. Things like the fastball velo, the average exit velocity, the chase percentage is just a tick under league average. But then things like barrel rate, hard hit percentage, and ground ball percentage are all above league average. We know this from Brayan Bello. If you go out there and you watched his starts from this past year, it feels like these underlying metrics are not telling the entire story. As Bello had multiple great performances and was overall a pretty good pitcher for the entirety of the year. And he had some good moments, he had some bad moments, but we know the brand of baseball that Brayan Bello plays and pitches at. He is looking to create weak contact and ground balls and get out of innings with good defense played behind him. The defense behind him this year was ass, and I don't like saying that, but the Red Sox were number 2 in the league in errors, and the only team in front of them were the Colorado Rockies. And I don't know if they won 30 games this past year. They were abysmal, and there's no way, if that Red Sox team had a better defense, and I mean just a league average defense, not the second worst team based off of errors in the entire league, they probably move on past the Yankees in the wild card. And if you think I'm crazy, Early had a .68 whip, I believe was the number. If you don't know what that means, that takes into account the runs given up based off the defense played behind him and just the errors that took. It can't happen. It cannot happen. Bad defense is never going to result in winning baseball. So why are we having this conversation? Who could Brayan Bello be moved for? Well, Arizona is a legit opportunity. Bob Nightingale goes on to write this article, and he breaks down this idea about Ketel Marte and how the Arizona Diamondbacks not only would be willing and open to trading Ketel Marte, but what they want in return is very specific. Pitching. They want pitching, and they want lots of it. That's actually the exact quote from Bob Nightingale in this article. It goes on to say, Diamondbacks continue to have operators standing by ready to field your phone calls. They have told anyone and everyone they are willing to listen to offers for their all-star second baseman who signed a 6-year, $116.5 million contract. Right there is what it looks like. Again, we mentioned Brayan Bello, 4 years of control, with that last year being a club option. If you look at Ketel Marte, 5, maybe 6 years, 5 years, with the fifth year being a player option. A lot of team control with Ketel Marte, and also he's a damn good baseball player. I don't know if I have his underlying metrics here. I do not. Unfortunately, I do not. He is a freak. We know this. Ketel Marte is an all-star year after year, and it's no surprise. The kid's an absolute stud, and it doesn't seem like he's going to slow down anytime soon. When it comes down to the second base position, he's in the top of the crop, without a doubt. And when it comes to the power aspect at second base, in the sense of being a switch hitter at second base, it's just bonus point after bonus point after bonus point for Ketel Marte. And the glove isn't too shabby itself defensively. Now, $116.5 million deal last spring with $46 million in deferred money. That is important. The D-backs want pitching and lots of it in return. They spent a franchise record last winter, missed the playoffs, and will open next season without free agents Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and Ace Corbin Burns on the injured list for most of the season. They need help, and Marte is the most valuable trade chip. The Boston Red Sox, Detroit Tigers, Tampa Bay Rays, who have plenty of pitching, are all on the radar. So, Bob Nightingale confirming the Red Sox very much involved with the Ketel Marte situation and possibly doing a major blockbuster trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks to bring an all-star second baseman into Boston. We've had this conversation before. We've broken down other mock trades involving this name of Ketel Marte and what it would take to get him out of Arizona and to Boston. And frankly, it feels like that first trade, the first mock trade we broke down from just baseball, where it was what was it? David Sandlin, Luis Perales, and Wilyer Abreu in exchange for one Ketel Marte. So a 3-for-1 trade here. In this trade involving Brayan Bello changes the entire landscape. And the reason being is because Brayan Bello, the amount of team control already been taken care of in the sense of finances. Also, he is extremely young. He's 26 years of age, I believe. He's 26 and a half years of age. He's a month older than Garrett Crochet. He has been in the league for 4 seasons now, and he has produced and has continued to get better and better and better. And you may look at the underlying metrics, you may look at the average, the ERA, whatever you'd like. But if you go watch Brayan Bello pitch and you watch him from his rookie year to his second year to his third year to last year, in those big games, in those shutout performances against the New York Yankees through 7, 8 innings, and throwing complete games a few times throughout the season, and overall just finding that rhythm and the ability to control his repertoire and ability to command his pitches to the best of his ability, becoming what is going to be a very, very dominant pitcher, something of a right-handed Christopher Sanchez, relying on a sinker, a changeup, and a slider with the ability to cause ground balls and let the defense work behind you. Let me know down below, would you be willing to trade someone like Brayan Bello if Ketel Marte was on the other side? I'm not sure it would be a 1-for-1 trade. That is a big, important factor in this. I believe it would have to be Bello and maybe one other piece. Maybe not a Wilyer Abreu or Jarren Duran, but possibly another pitching prospect. Let me know down below. What would you be comfortable giving up? And are you willing to give up Brayan Bello at all this offseason? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.